Have you ever asked yourself, who should I tell my heart to? Have you ever felt the need to share your deepest emotions, your dreams, your fears, your secrets with someone, only to wonder if that person truly understands? Our hearts are powerful, sacred, and fragile. They are the command center of our life, the source of our passion, and the place where dreams are born. And yet, we so often give them away carelessly. Your heart is a treasure, not at all. So many people treat their hearts as if they are disposable, as if they are meant to be handed out freely without thought, without consideration, without care. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you seen someone pour their emotions into people who do not deserve them? How many times have you invested your feelings into someone who never even noticed the value of what you were giving? Our hearts are priceless. They are the source of our dreams, the home of our passions, the compass that guides our decisions, yet we allow them to be handled carelessly. Imagine a rare diamond, one that took years to form under pressure and heat, only to be tossed into the dirt and stepped on by someone who does not recognize its worth. That is what happens when we give our hearts to people who are not worthy of them. When I say your heart is a treasure, I mean it is sacred. It is the part of you that feels deeply, loves passionately, hopes endlessly, and dares to dream courageously. When someone touches your heart, they are not just interacting with your emotions. They are interacting with your essence, your spirit, your very being. Yet we allow people to toy with it, to manipulate it, to test it, to treat it as if it is a casual possession rather than a sacred gift. Have you ever been in a situation where you shared something intimate, something vulnerable, only to be laughed at, dismissed, or betrayed? That is why your heart must be guarded, because not everyone is prepared to handle the depth of your truth. Look at everyday life. Think about a child who gives a handmade card to a friend, pouring all their effort, their hope, and their innocent love into it, only for the friend to throw it away or forget it on a table. That child feels the sting, the pain, the lesson that not everyone treasures the value of what is given. Your heart is like that card. It deserves care, attention, respect, and acknowledgement. When you understand this, you begin to value your own emotions, your own dreams, and your own worth. You begin to see that your feelings are not something to be gambled on. They are something to be honored. Consider the relationships you encounter daily. Co-workers, friends, romantic partners, family members. Many will ask for pieces of your heart, whether through attention, energy, or emotional investment. But not all of them are prepared to give anything in return. Some will take and take until there is nothing left, leaving you empty, drained, and wondering why you trusted so easily. Your heart is not a tool for others to use at their convenience. It is a treasure chest filled with value and significance, and it deserves to be opened only by those who will handle it with care, who will honor it, and who will cherish it for what it truly is. Think about a gardener who plants a rare flower in a public space, expecting people to water it, nurture it, and admire it, but instead, people trample it underfoot. That flower represents your heart. It is delicate, unique, and precious, yet if placed in the wrong environment, it will wither. Your heart needs to be protected, nurtured, and placed where it can flourish, where it can grow, where it can shine its light without fear of being crushed. In your life, this means choosing carefully who you allow into your emotional world. It means being selective, discerning, and intentional about the people who witness your deepest feelings. Even in moments of love, the lesson is the same. Many fall in love with the idea of love rather than the person themselves. They give away their hearts too quickly, assuming that passion alone is enough to sustain a bond. But a heart given without thought, without discernment, without wisdom, is a heart at risk. Imagine handing over a treasure map to someone who does not respect the treasure. They might follow it only to steal, to misuse, or to destroy what they find. Your heart is that treasure, and you must be vigilant about who holds the map. Life teaches us through examples every day. The friend who repeatedly breaks promises, the colleague who belittles your efforts, the partner who manipulates your emotions. All of them are reminders that your heart is not a toy. It cannot be repaired by just saying sorry. It cannot be replaced by just moving on, because each time it is mishandled, a piece of your trust, a piece of your courage, and a piece of your innocence is chipped away. Guarding your heart is not selfish, it is wisdom. It is the acknowledgement that what you carry inside is of infinite value and must be treated accordingly. When you begin to live with this awareness, you start to make choices differently. You begin to measure every connection against the worth of your heart. You ask yourself, will this person honor me? Will this person uplift me? Will this person value what I am offering? If the answer is no, your heart remains safely tucked away, untouched, unbroken, and ready for the right hands. The right people will come along, people who will handle your emotions as if they are precious jewels, who will nurture your dreams, who will celebrate your victories, and who will honor your vulnerabilities. Your heart is a treasure, and treasures are rare, not common. Every day in small ways, your heart teaches you its value. A kind word, a gentle touch, a meaningful conversation, these are tests of whether someone can treasure it or treat it carelessly. Those who respect it become keepers of the treasure. Those who do not reveal themselves quickly, allowing you to save your heart before it is too late. Life is full of lessons like this, repeated in different forms, until you finally understand that your heart is sacred, it is priceless, and it must never be treated as a toy. Trust is earned, not assumed, and yet so many people live as if trust is something that comes automatically, as if every person they meet deserves access to their deepest thoughts, their emotions, and their dreams. Think about it for a moment. How often do we hand over pieces of ourselves to people who have done nothing to prove that they are worthy of them? We smile at strangers, we confide in acquaintances, we fall into relationships thinking that because someone says the right words, because they appear caring or kind, they automatically deserve our trust. But trust is not a given. It is not a title that can be claimed. It is a sacred currency, a reflection of character, patience, and integrity, and it must be proven over time. Look at everyday life. In schools, children learn this lesson naturally, sometimes painfully. A child shares a secret with a friend, believing that their words will be kept safe, only to discover that the secret spreads. The betrayal stings because the child assumed trust, but trust was not earned. In workplaces, employees share ideas with colleagues, hoping for collaboration and support, but some colleagues take the ideas and claim them as their own. In relationships, people give their hearts too soon, assuming that attraction or kindness is enough to justify confidence. And yet the heart is broken when words and actions fail to align. These examples show that trust is not about appearances, it is about consistency, reliability, and integrity in action. Trust is a slow builder. It is created through repeated experiences, through observing patterns of behavior, and through witnessing someone handle challenges with honesty and respect. It is earned when a person demonstrates loyalty not just when it is convenient, but especially when it is difficult. A friend who stands by you when no one else does, a partner who remains honest even when the truth is uncomfortable, a colleague who supports you even when there is nothing to gain. These are the people who earn your trust. It is not their words alone. It is the alignment of words and actions over time that signals reliability. Consider the way we handle money as a metaphor. If someone asked to borrow a large sum, would you hand it over immediately? Or would you observe their behavior first? You would watch how they handle smaller amounts, how responsible they are with everyday obligations, and how honest they are about commitments. Trust works the same way with the heart. You do not give it in large sums to someone who has shown carelessness with small pieces. You observe, you test, you notice patterns because your heart is too valuable to gamble. In families, we see this lesson every day. Children learn to trust their parents not because they are told to, but because parents consistently provide guidance, care, and protection. Friends earn trust by showing up in both joyful and difficult times. Romantic partners earn trust by demonstrating fidelity, honesty, and respect over months and years, not just days. Trust is built brick by brick, action by action, moment by moment. It cannot be assumed, no matter how charming, attractive, or persuasive someone may be. Even in small daily interactions, trust reveals itself. The barista who consistently remembers your name, the colleague who keeps confidential information private, the neighbor who helps without seeking recognition, these are signs that trust can be built, slowly, carefully, intentionally. The person who brags about their honesty or promises loyalty without proof is asking you to assume trust. Wisdom teaches that assumptions are dangerous when it comes to the heart. You protect your heart by observing, by listening, by noticing consistency between what people say and what they do. Life gives us warnings when we assume trust. Heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment, and regret are often the result of handing over confidence too quickly. The pain is not just emotional, it is a lesson in discernment. When we realize that trust must be earned, we begin to see relationships differently. We stop rushing to give our hearts away and start looking for the proof, the patterns, the reliability that signals someone is worthy. This does not mean cynicism. It means wisdom. It means valuing the treasure of your emotions enough to demand that others earn the right to enter them. Sometimes the lesson comes through failure. You trust someone who seems sincere only to be hurt. In those moments, you learn that sincerity alone is not enough. Sincerity must be demonstrated over time through actions that reflect integrity. Just as a builder tests materials before constructing a home, you must observe, test, and confirm the character of those you allow near your heart. Trust is earned through endurance, patience, and repeated proof, not through words, promises, or appearances. When you embrace the truth that trust is earned, you begin to live differently. You no longer give pieces of yourself impulsively. You observe, you notice, you assess, and you allow only those who have proven themselves to enter your emotional world. Trust becomes a precious gift, not a casual commodity, and your heart remains safe until the right people show that they deserve it. This awareness transforms the way you connect, the way you love, the way you dream, and the way you move through life. Learn to listen to your own heart first, because too often we live in a world filled with noise, opinions, and expectations from others, and we forget that the clearest guidance we can ever receive is from within. Every day people will tell you what to do, how to feel, who to be, and where to go. Friends, family, colleagues, social media, even strangers, all offer advice as if they hold the ultimate truth about your life. But your heart, the deep, quiet voice inside you, already knows the path you are meant to take. It knows what aligns with your purpose, your passion, and your potential. Yet so many of us ignore it, chasing validation, approval, and recognition from the outside world. Think about a time when you wanted to make a decision, maybe as simple as changing a job, or as significant as choosing a life partner, and everyone around you had opinions. Some told you it was too risky, others told you it was impossible, and some even mocked your vision. And yet deep inside, your heart whispered a different truth. That whisper is the voice you must learn to hear. It is not loud, it is not demanding, it does not shout for attention, but it is persistent, patient, and unwavering. When you ignore it, you create confusion, doubt, and regret, because the answers you are seeking externally were already inside you. Look at daily life examples. A teenager deciding what career to pursue might hear from parents to study medicine or engineering, while their heart is drawn to music, art, or entrepreneurship. The world tells them practicality is more valuable than passion, but if they listen to their own heart, they will find fulfillment, not just success. A young adult may choose a relationship that appears perfect on paper, with wealth status or approval from others, but their heart knows if the connection is hollow or misaligned with their values. The heart has a radar for truth that the mind can be blind to, especially when influenced by the noise around us. Learning to listen to your own heart first requires stillness, reflection, and courage. It means setting aside the chatter of the world and asking yourself questions that matter. What do I truly desire? What feels right for me? Which decisions honor who I am, not just who others want me to be? It is easy to follow the crowd, to accept advice blindly, and to conform to expectations, but greatness, fulfillment, and authenticity are born when you trust the wisdom of your own heart. It is in these quiet moments of listening that your inner compass becomes clear and guides you toward your true purpose. Consider the analogy of a compass. If you carry a compass but never look at it, you will wander aimlessly. If you let other people's directions override it, you may reach places that seem safe but are not yours to inhabit. Your heart is like that compass. It will point you toward the destinations meant for you, toward the people and opportunities aligned with your destiny. Ignoring it is like walking blindfolded in a crowded street, bumping into obstacles, facing frustration, and wondering why life seems so heavy. In daily experiences, even small decisions reveal the importance of listening to your heart. Choosing where to invest your time, which friends to keep, how to respond to challenges, and what projects to pursue. Each of these moments carries the imprint of your heart's guidance. When you learn to listen, you notice that your instincts, your gut feelings, and your inner reactions are not random. They are signals from your heart trying to lead you to what is authentic, meaningful, and right for you. Sometimes the world confuses confidence with arrogance, patience with indecision, and intuition with weakness. But your heart does not lie. It does not compete. It does not seek attention. And it does not force its way. It communicates softly but powerfully, guiding you toward decisions that resonate with your inner truth. The courage to trust your own heart is the courage to live authentically, to honor your values, and to step into the life that is uniquely yours. Every day, life tests this principle. You may face pressure to conform in your workplace, in your family, in society. Opinions will clash, criticism will come, and temptations to compromise your values will appear. In those moments, the voice of your heart is the one that whispers clarity. It asks you to pause, to reflect, and to act from a place of alignment rather than reaction. It asks you to distinguish between external approval and internal conviction, between fear-driven choices and heart-guided decisions. Consider people who have achieved greatness in history, in business, in the arts, and in leadership. Many of them were dismissed, doubted, or criticized because they listened to their own hearts first. They followed instincts, passions, and visions that others could not see because their hearts were aligned with purpose. They did not allow society's expectations to dictate their actions because they understood that the first authority in their life must be their own heart. Learning to listen to your heart is a practice. It requires daily attention, reflection, and trust. It asks you to silence the outside voices and to tune into your inner rhythm, your desires, and your instincts. It is the foundation of wisdom, the seed of authenticity, and the path to a life filled with fulfillment and meaning. Speak to those who build you, not break you, because life is too short to invest your energy in people who drain you, belittle you, or diminish your spirit. Think about it. Every word we hear, every conversation we engage in leaves an imprint on our minds and hearts. A careless comment can linger for days. A discouraging statement can plant seeds of doubt. And a negative relationship can slowly erode the confidence and joy that should belong to you naturally. Our hearts are like gardens, and the people we speak to are the gardeners. If you allow those who tear down, criticize without purpose, or mock your dreams to tend your garden, it will struggle to grow. But when you choose to speak to those who nurture, encourage, and inspire you, your heart blossoms, your mind sharpens, and your potential unfolds. Consider a workplace environment. There is always someone who criticizes your efforts, complains about your ideas, or undermines your achievements. If you spend your time listening to them, if you engage with them seeking validation or trying to prove yourself, you slowly begin to internalize their negativity. Your confidence wanes, your creativity stalls, and your spirit feels heavy. Now think about the opposite. A colleague or mentor who recognizes your strengths, provides constructive guidance, and celebrates your progress. Even in challenging times, their words encourage you to push harder, to innovate, and to keep moving forward. The difference is clear. Some words break, some words build. And it is our responsibility to choose which ones we allow to shape us. In friendships, the principle is the same. A true friend is someone who lifts you when you fall, who reminds you of your worth when doubt creeps in, and who speaks encouragement even when they themselves are facing struggles. We often underestimate how powerful conversations with the wrong people can be. Gossip, jealousy, and criticism can silently erode our self-esteem, while the wrong advice can steer us away from our purpose. Everyday life provides countless examples of a friend who laughs at your dreams, who dismisses your ideas, or who makes you feel small in their presence is not someone to invest your heart in. On the other hand, a friend who listens deeply, challenges you to grow, and celebrates your successes builds a foundation that allows you to thrive. Even in family dynamics, we experience this principle. Some relatives, perhaps unintentionally, speak words that limit your potential, reinforce fear, or perpetuate insecurity. They might say, "You cannot do that. That is too risky," or "Why would you even try?" If you absorb those words, they shape your reality. Conversely, family members who encourage you, validate your ambitions, and express belief in your abilities give you strength to overcome obstacles and courage to pursue the life you envision. These daily interactions show how crucial it is to select carefully whom we engage with, because words are not just sounds. They are seeds planted in the garden of our minds. Think about romantic relationships. Someone who constantly criticizes, manipulates, or undermines you does not build your spirit, they break it. Every conversation filled with negativity chips away at your confidence, your self-respect, and your sense of security. Contrast that with a partner who affirms, encourages, and communicates with kindness and respect. Their words lift you up, reinforce your value, and create a space where your dreams feel possible. Your heart, like a delicate instrument, needs to resonate with voices that strengthen its melody, not distort it. In daily life, even casual interactions matter. The barista who greets you warmly, the mentor who provides feedback that challenges but encourages, the neighbor who speaks kindness. These small moments build us. On the other hand, even fleeting conversations filled with judgment, impatience, or negativity can leave an emotional mark. It is not always the dramatic moments that shape us, but the accumulation of words, tones, and attitudes that either nourish or deplete our inner life. Speaking to those who build you is a deliberate choice, a daily discipline, and a commitment to your own growth. We live in a world that constantly tests this principle. Opportunities for criticism, gossip, and negativity are everywhere. News, social media, workplaces, and even personal relationships bombard us with voices that can weaken resolve and obscure clarity. The challenge is to consciously select who you engage with, to prioritize conversations with people who inspire, teach, and encourage you, and to protect your heart from those who seek to diminish it. In doing so, you not only guard your spirit, but also elevate your potential, because when your heart is nurtured, your mind is empowered, and your actions become aligned with purpose. The most successful people, the ones who leave a lasting impact in their communities, careers, and families, understand this principle deeply. They choose associations carefully. They engage in conversations that uplift, and they distance themselves from voices that sow doubt or fear. They realize that words are not neutral. They carry energy, shape thought, and influence behavior. When they speak to those who build them, they strengthen their character, clarify their vision, and expand their influence, because their hearts and minds are continually nourished by positivity, wisdom, and encouragement. Daily life is full of lessons showing the importance of this choice. A colleague's encouragement may inspire you to take a risk. A friend's advice may redirect you toward growth. A mentor's guidance may reveal your hidden potential. The opposite is also true. A careless word from the wrong person can plant seeds of fear, regret, or limitation. It is a constant reminder that your time, attention, and energy are precious resources, and the people you allow into your life should contribute to building you, not breaking you. Your heart is not for everyone. It is for the few who matter, because too often people give their hearts freely, without thought, without discernment, without care, and then wonder why they feel broken, drained, or unfulfilled. Imagine a rare, priceless gem. Would you place it in the hands of anyone who passes by, or would you give it only to someone who understands its value, who treats it with respect, and who cherishes it as it deserves to be cherished? Your heart is exactly like that gem. It is sacred, it is precious, and it is too valuable to be scattered among people who cannot recognize its worth. In everyday life, we encounter countless individuals who may seem charming, friendly, or appealing, yet only a few are truly capable of holding space for our emotions, understanding our depth, and valuing the essence of who we are. Think about friendships. Not everyone who smiles at you, laughs with you, or shares moments of fun is equipped to handle your vulnerabilities, your fears, or your dreams. Many friends come and go. Some support you only when it is convenient, and some may even take advantage of your generosity without realizing the damage they leave behind. Your heart deserves relationships that nourish, that challenge you to grow, that lift you when you fall, and that celebrate your victories. A heart given to someone who does not matter, someone who is indifferent or careless, can leave you questioning your worth, doubting your choices, and feeling isolated even when surrounded by people. In romantic relationships, this principle becomes even more critical. So many people rush to give their hearts to those who seem attractive, kind, or exciting at first glance, only to realize later that these individuals cannot honor, respect, or align with their true essence. Your heart is not a tool to be used to fill a void or to chase temporary happiness. It is a sacred vessel that carries your love, your vulnerability, and your dreams. To give it away recklessly is to risk losing not only trust in others, but also confidence in yourself. The few who matter are those who are patient, who show consistency in character, who respect boundaries, and who inspire you to become your best self rather than diminish it. Daily life provides clear examples. A young person may be drawn to a crowd that seems exciting, popular, or glamorous, yet most of these people are not meant to influence their inner world. They may encourage risky behaviors, distract from growth, or fail to honor the heart that trusts them. A wise choice is to invest only in relationships that strengthen character, that offer guidance, and that reflect shared values. Your heart is not a resource to be wasted on approval, popularity, or fleeting pleasure. It is a treasure to be given with intention and discernment, reserved for those few who demonstrate through actions, not words, that they are worthy. Even in the workplace, your emotional energy is valuable. Not every colleague, supervisor, or acquaintance should have access to the deepest parts of your heart. Some will gossip, some will judge, and some will manipulate emotions for personal gain. The few who matter are those who encourage your growth, recognize your contributions, and create environments where your strengths can flourish. Your heart thrives in spaces where respect, trust, and integrity are present, and it diminishes in spaces filled with envy, criticism, or exploitation. Families, too, provide lessons about this truth. There may be relatives who do not understand your path, who challenge your choices, or who dismiss your aspirations. While love exists, it does not mean everyone is equipped to receive the depth of your heart without judgment or harm. Your heart is best shared with those who honor your journey, who uplift your spirit, and who contribute positively to your growth and well-being. A heart scattered indiscriminately loses focus, energy, and clarity, whereas a heart shared with those few who truly matter expands, strengthens, and flourishes. Consider moments when someone shows you genuine care, listens without judgment, and encourages you to pursue your dreams. These moments reveal who the few are. They are people who consistently align words with actions, who celebrate your victories, who support you through challenges, and who reflect the value of your heart back to you. They are not perfect, but their intent to build rather than harm is unmistakable. Your heart is meant to resonate with these few, not with the many who pass through casually or selfishly. In love, friendship, work, and family, understanding this principle transforms the way you engage with the world. It teaches patience, discernment, and self-respect. It helps you stop chasing validation from the masses and start seeking meaningful connection with those whose presence enriches your life. When you accept that your heart is not for everyone, you become selective, intentional, and protective of your inner life, reserving it for those who truly reflect its value and honor its depth. Every day, life presents opportunities to practice this wisdom. A casual encounter, a fleeting friendship, a tempting relationship, or a persuasive voice may seek your trust and emotional energy. The decision is yours to make scatter your heart indiscriminately and risk depletion, or reserve it for the few who matter, whose presence cultivates strength, joy, and purpose. Your heart deserves careful stewardship, and by giving it only to those who genuinely matter, you ensure that it grows in richness, resilience, and meaning. Honesty is the currency of the heart, and yet so many people underestimate its power. We live in a world where appearances, lies, and pretenses are often valued over truth, and in that environment, our hearts are constantly at risk. Think about it. Every time you withhold the truth, sugarcoat your feelings, or pretend to be someone you are not, you are devaluing your own heart. Honesty is not just about speaking words that are true. It is about aligning your actions, your intentions, and your emotions with the reality of who you are. It is the only way to build connections, trust, and relationships that are real, lasting, and meaningful. Without honesty, the heart becomes bankrupt because it gives and receives in a currency that is counterfeit. Consider daily life examples. Imagine a friend who pretends to be supportive but secretly envies your success. Their words may sound kind, but their actions and intentions are dishonest. If you give your heart freely to this person, your trust is misplaced, your vulnerability is exploited, and your spirit is weakened. On the other hand, a friend who speaks with honesty, even when it is uncomfortable, builds your heart's value. They may correct you, challenge you, or reveal truths you do not want to hear, but their honesty preserves integrity, strengthens your judgment, and reinforces the worth of your heart. Honesty is the standard by which we measure the authenticity of our relationships, and it is what determines whether our hearts flourish or falter. In romantic relationships, honesty is even more critical. Too often, people give their hearts to partners who say what they think others want to hear, who conceal faults, who manipulate emotions, or who lie to gain favor. When honesty is absent, love becomes fragile, trust is shattered, and hearts are broken. But when honesty governs a relationship, every word spoken is a reflection of truth, every action aligns with integrity, and every emotion is genuine. Honesty allows two hearts to resonate together authentically, creating a foundation that cannot be shaken by deception, pretense, or manipulation. Even in workplaces, honesty functions as the currency of the heart. A colleague who exaggerates achievements, hides mistakes, or deceives others may seem clever temporarily, but such behavior corrodes trust and weakens collaboration. Conversely, those who communicate honestly, acknowledge errors, and share intentions transparently build credibility, respect, and loyalty. The same principle applies to your heart. If you engage with honesty, your emotional investments grow in value because people learn to recognize, respect, and respond to your truth. The heart that speaks honestly attracts those who are genuine, while the heart that deceives attracts emptiness. Daily life is full of lessons about this truth. Think about the child who admits to breaking a vase instead of hiding it, the friend who shares their true feelings instead of pretending everything is okay, or the employee who gives feedback honestly instead of sugarcoating it. These small acts of honesty may seem simple, but they carry immense power. They demonstrate courage, integrity, and value. They show that the heart respects itself enough to operate in truth. And when a heart operates in truth, it earns respect, trust, and genuine connection in return. Honesty is not always easy. It requires courage, vulnerability, and self-awareness. It means acknowledging mistakes instead of deflecting blame, expressing real emotions instead of masking them, and setting boundaries instead of pleasing everyone. Every time you choose honesty, you deposit value into the account of your heart. Every time you choose deception, avoidance, or pretense, you withdraw from that account, leaving your heart weaker, more vulnerable, and less capable of connecting deeply. The most resilient, fulfilled, and purposeful lives are lived by those who understand that honesty is not optional, it is essential. Consider the way society pressures people to conform, to impress, and to perform. People often hide their fears, suppress their desires, and pretend to be strong when they feel weak. In doing so, they sacrifice honesty and compromise the currency of their hearts. Yet, when someone chooses to be truthful, even if it is difficult, even if it is risky, their heart gains value. They attract people who respect authenticity, build trust, and create bonds that are real. Honesty functions like a light in the darkness. It reveals character, illuminates motives, and draws those who resonate with truth closer, while naturally repelling those who cannot handle sincerity. In families, honesty creates safety. Children learn to trust their parents when they are consistent and truthful. Partners learn intimacy when words are sincere. Friends build loyalty when they speak candidly. Without honesty, fear, doubt, and confusion take root, and the heart struggles to feel secure. Every word, every confession, every expression of genuine emotion is a deposit in the bank of the heart. The more consistent, transparent, and truthful those deposits are, the stronger, healthier, and more resilient the heart becomes. Honesty also shapes self-respect. A heart that hides truth from itself or from others diminishes its own value. The heart that faces reality, expresses itself authentically, and interacts with integrity earns its own trust, cultivates confidence, and creates a life where relationships are real, purpose is clear, and fulfillment is possible. Share your heart with purpose, not out of loneliness, because so many people mistake the ache of being alone for a reason to give their hearts away to anyone who shows attention. Loneliness is a powerful emotion, and it can cloud judgment, making a person desperate for connection, approval, or validation. When you share your heart without purpose, without discernment, without alignment with your own values and goals, you risk giving away your most precious treasure to people who cannot appreciate it, who will misuse it, or who will leave you emptier than before. Think about it. How many people have rushed into relationships, friendships, or partnerships simply to escape solitude, only to find themselves trapped in disappointment, heartache, and regret? The heart given out of loneliness is a heart given without intention, and intention is what gives life meaning and direction. Consider everyday life examples. A young adult may start dating someone simply because they fear being alone, not because the person truly aligns with their values or dreams. They may ignore warning signs, dismissing compatibility, or compromise their own standards, thinking that having someone is better than being single. At first, it feels comforting because attention and affection are flowing, but over time, the emptiness returns, multiplied by the frustration of realizing that their heart was shared with the wrong person. Conversely, when a person shares their heart with purpose, guided by intention, by values, and by vision, every interaction becomes meaningful, every connection becomes enriching, and every relationship strengthens both hearts involved. In friendships, this principle is equally important. Many people allow themselves to be surrounded by acquaintances who occupy space but do not add value, thinking that the presence of others will fill the void of loneliness. They share secrets, emotions, and personal struggles with those who cannot be trusted, who cannot give support, or who cannot understand the depth of what is being shared. The heart becomes scattered, fragile, and vulnerable when shared without purpose. A purposeful heart, however, seeks out friends who uplift, who challenge growth, who share vision, and who honor vulnerability. A heart shared with purpose is safe, nurtured, and strengthened. Even in families, the lesson appears. Sometimes individuals try to seek attention or validation from relatives, hoping that closeness will heal the sense of isolation or rejection they feel. They may give love unconditionally, expecting it to be reciprocated, only to face disappointment. The heart given out of loneliness often expects something in return or clings to connections that are unhealthy, unbalanced, or unreciprocated. The heart shared with purpose, in contrast, is deliberate, discerning, and aligned with the principle of mutual growth, respect, and understanding. It recognizes that genuine connection is not about filling a void, but about enriching life and elevating character. Think about workplaces or community settings. Some people allow themselves to be overextended, giving time, energy, and attention to colleagues or groups simply to avoid being alone or to feel accepted. They become drained, resentful, and emotionally depleted because their hearts are being used as tools to meet superficial needs. Those who share their hearts with purpose focus on interactions that matter, collaborations that align with vision, and contributions that create impact. The heart becomes an instrument of growth and fulfillment rather than a receptacle for temporary comfort. Loneliness is not weakness. It is a signal, an invitation to grow, to reflect, and to understand the true value of your heart. When the heart is shared without purpose, it risks becoming a magnet for disappointment, heartbreak, and misalignment. When it is shared with intention, it becomes a beacon, attracting the right people, opportunities, and experiences. Consider the artist who waits to find the right audience before sharing their masterpiece, rather than handing it to anyone who passes by. The artist protects the value of the work, knowing that the right audience will appreciate it fully. Your heart is no different. It deserves the same discernment, the same patience, and the same purpose-driven approach. Even in romantic love, the heart shared with purpose seeks alignment, not mere proximity. It is not about filling emptiness, but about contributing to mutual growth, supporting dreams, and creating a partnership where both individuals thrive. A heart given in desperation is easily taken for granted, exploited, or overlooked, but a heart given intentionally, with awareness and direction, becomes a force of transformation, connection, and empowerment. It elevates both lives, inspiring courage, trust, and fulfillment. Daily life teaches this lesson through small, ordinary moments. A smile shared sincerely, a conversation held with attention, a gesture of kindness given with awareness. All of these are forms of purposeful heart sharing. They matter because they are conscious, intentional, and rooted in alignment with values. The heart shared without purpose may attract temporary attention or relief from loneliness, but it rarely leaves a lasting impact or creates meaningful growth. The heart shared with purpose multiplies value, strengthens character, and builds relationships that endure. Loneliness will come and go. It is part of the human experience, but it should never be the guide for giving your heart. Your heart deserves thought, intention, and purpose. It is sacred, it is precious, and it is capable of transforming lives, including your own. When you learn to share it with purpose rather than out of loneliness, every relationship, every connection, and every act of love becomes an opportunity for growth, fulfillment, and profound impact. As we reach the conclusion of this journey together, let me remind you that your heart is the most precious treasure you possess, more valuable than wealth, more important than fame, and more powerful than any material possession in the world. It is the center of your being, the wellspring of your emotions, your dreams, and your purpose. Too many people live their lives as if their hearts are ordinary, giving them away carelessly, allowing the wrong voices to dictate their value, and letting fear or loneliness lead their decisions. But today, I challenge you to rise above that. I challenge you to understand that your heart is sacred, and it must be guarded, cherished, and shared only with those who are worthy, only with those who uplift, inspire, and align with your vision. Remember, every interaction, every word spoken to you, and every relationship you nurture leaves an imprint on your soul. If the voices around you are negative, discouraging, or toxic, your heart will weaken, your confidence will falter, and your purpose will be delayed. But when you surround yourself with people who believe in you, who encourage your growth, who celebrate your victories and support your dreams, your heart becomes a fortress of strength, courage, and resilience. As Dr. MYLES Munroe said, The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but a life without purpose. If you give your heart to the wrong people, you risk living a life without fulfillment. If you give it intentionally, with purpose, you step into a life that honors your calling, your vision, and your destiny. I want you to understand that loneliness is not a reason to give your heart away. Fear is not a reason to compromise your standards. The opinions of others are not a reason to betray your own truth. Your heart deserves intention. It deserves patience. It deserves alignment with those who reflect its value, with those who inspire it to grow, and with those who honor it as the sacred treasure that it is. Think about the great leaders, innovators, and visionaries who have changed the world. They did not waste their hearts on approval, popularity, or temporary comfort. They shared their hearts with purpose. They invested in relationships that built them. They trusted those few who aligned with their vision, and they refused to settle for less than what was right. Every day you are presented with choices. You can give your heart impulsively, reactively, and without thought, or you can choose deliberately, intentionally, and wisely. Imagine your heart as a seed. If you plant it in fertile soil with sunlight, water, and care, it will grow into a mighty tree that provides shade, shelter, and nourishment. If you plant it in rocky ground, surrounded by weeds and neglect, it will struggle with it and never reach its potential. The people you allow near your heart are that soil, and the energy you invest in those relationships determines the life and growth of your spirit. Believe in the power of your heart. Believe that it is capable of profound love, immense courage, and extraordinary resilience. Believe that when you protect it, honor it, and share it with purpose, you create a life filled with meaningful connections, lasting joy, and authentic fulfillment. Do not allow anyone to convince you otherwise. Never apologize for expecting value, respect, and care from those who touch your life. Do not settle for casual affection, hollow words, or shallow intentions. Your heart is sacred, and it must be treated with reverence, wisdom, and intention. As you move forward, let these words echo in your mind. The greatest gift you can give someone is your heart, but only give it to those who will treasure it, nurture it, and honor it. Do not fear being selective. Do not feel guilty for valuing yourself. Do not compromise your dreams or dilute your passion. Those who are meant to be in your life will align naturally. Those who are not will drift away, and your heart will remain whole, protected, and powerful. The few who truly matter will recognize your worth, celebrate your victories, and walk beside you through challenges with unwavering support. Remember that your heart is not a toy, a bargaining chip, or a temporary possession. It is a source of life, creativity, purpose, and joy. It deserves to be treated as a treasure, guarded as a fortress, and shared with wisdom. The courage to protect it is the courage to respect yourself. The patience to wait for the right people is the patience to honor your vision. The clarity to discern the worthy is the clarity to step into a life of purpose, influence, and fulfillment. As MYLES Munroe would say, the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but a life without purpose. And giving your heart without intention is a tragedy that can be avoided through wisdom, discernment, and courage. So I urge you today, do not allow fear, loneliness, or impatience to guide the decisions of your heart. Do not hand it over carelessly, and do not give it to those who do not value it. Instead, speak to those who build you, nurture your spirit, and inspire your growth. Invest in relationships that strengthen your character, encourage your dreams, and reflect the depth of your value. Protect it as fiercely as you pursue your purpose, and give it freely only when it aligns with integrity, intention, and vision. Your heart is powerful, your heart is precious, and your heart is the key to a life of fulfillment, influence, and greatness. When you live this truth, you will discover that life rewards those who respect themselves, that joy comes to those who guard their hearts, and that destiny embraces those who share their hearts with purpose. So who should you tell your heart to? Tell it to the person who has earned your trust, who has proven their character, who sees your value and adds to it, not diminishes it. Tell it to someone who resonates with your dreams, honors your feelings, and walks beside you in the journey of life. Most importantly, tell it to someone after you have first learned to honor it yourself. Because the way you treat your own heart is the blueprint for how others will treat it. Your heart is the compass of your life. It guides you toward love, toward joy, toward purpose. When you give it wisely, it multiplies. When you give it recklessly, it diminishes. Guard it, cherish it, respect it, and share it only with those who reflect the light of what you are. Remember, the greatest gift you can give anyone is your heart. but only if it is given intentionally, wisely, and courageously. And let me leave you with this thought: you will know when it is right to share your heart, because your soul will feel safe, your mind will feel at peace, and your spirit will rejoice. Do not rush. Do not settle. Let the right people in at the right time, and watch how your heart flourishes beyond your wildest dreams. Your heart deserves nothing less than honor, love, and purpose. Choose wisely, guard fiercely, share courageously, and your life will be transformed in ways you never imagined.